I'm here at the beautiful Chatsworth House at Christmas, and this year I am bringing you with me for a truly magical festive experience.
Ho, ho, ho!
This Grade 1 listed building sits on about 105 acres of garden and 1,822 acres of park.
Chatsworth House is a stately home in the Derbyshire Dales, England. The seat of the Duke of Devonshire, it has belonged to the Cavendish family since 1549, and it was originally purchased for the sum of £600, which is the equivalent of £165,000 today. Each window is surrounded by a 24-carat gold leaf in a typical bid to show off wealth and luxury, and the house contains over 300 rooms. Chosen several times as Britain's favourite country house, the house also holds collections of paintings, furniture, old master drawings, neoclassical sculptures and books. 40,000 books to be exact, including a first edition of Pride and Prejudice. This Grade 1 listed property is from the 17th century, altered in the 18th and 19th centuries. The 1st and 6th Dukes both inherited the old house and tried to adapt the lifestyle of their time without changing the fundamental layout. This resulted in a home which is unique, full of irregularities, and interiors that are decorated by a diverse, centuries-old collection of different styles. And what's truly amazing is that Chatsworth is one of those rare stately homes that still has its owners in residence. Yes, while about 30 rooms are open to the public and managed by the Chatsworth House Trust on behalf of the Cavendish family, the actual descendants of the family still occupy the rest of the house. As you can imagine, they keep themselves pretty low-key, as it must be tricky when all you want to do is walk the dog, but yours is a garden that attracts about 300,000 visitors a year. Like the house, the garden has a complex blend of features from 6 different centuries, and there are 20 full-time gardeners employed. And look, we even have our very own reindeer.
But if there's one thing that never fails to bring in the crowds, it's Chatsworth House at Christmas.
From November to January every year, Chatsworth House dons the festive cheer and invites thousands of people to join in the celebrations. And this year, they're hosting a Christmas feast. The theme for this year's Christmas at Chatsworth celebrations has been inspired by a new festive story, Henry and the Lion's Christmas Feast, created in partnership with Joseph Coelho, OBE, and Chatsworth. It tells the story of... You know what? I just don't think I'm going to do this story justice. Let's leave it to the professionals.
Well, it's about Henry Cavendish, who was the second Duke's grandson, and he discovered the weight of the world. He also discovered hydrogen.
Wow!
He did.
And he's on the hunt for a lion?
He's on for a very small lion that's wandering around the house, but scuppering Christmas, we've got 196 mice.
I'll keep my eye out for them.
Oh, you do that.
That's right, young Henry Cavendish, budding experimental scientist and grandson of the 2nd Duke of Devonshire, is searching for the legendary Chatsworth lion, while the lion is on the hunt for a delicious Christmas feast. But along the way, it seems we've got some mischievous mice to spot. And so me and Mum were very much on the hunt, and after taking a moment to warm up by this beautiful fireplace as you enter the house, I spotted my very first mouse. How many mice can you spot in this video? Get counting and comment your answers below. And then as I headed into the house, spotting more naughty guests, I entered the most lavish part of Chatsworth, the Painted Hall. The Painted Hall was built during the 1st Duke's lifetime between 1689 and 1694. The paintings depict Julius Caesar and were in honour of King William and Queen Mary after they appointed Cavendish the title of Duke rather than Earl. All in all, these paintings cost £469, or £1 million today. The stunning 24-foot tree takes 2 days to put up and decorate, with 12 employees carefully carrying it inside. before the design team spend a whopping 10 hours or more adding 4,000 lights and around 4,500 baubles. There's certainly room for some large presents under this tree. And before moving through the rest of the house, I took a moment to soak up the painted hall, which, if you truly wanted to do, would probably take hours because of the level of detail. Next we move on to the chapel, which hasn't changed much since its construction in the late 1600s for the first Duke.
I found some cheeky mice. What are those mice doing? I think I've seen about 5. Let's see if we can go find some more.
We move through to the oak room, which was added by the 6th Duke of Chatsworth. He bought the oak panelling at auction in 1837, which was previously part of a German monastery. And after taking a moment to admire this original parquet floor, I soothed my childhood self by touching one of these things. And then it was time to descend the grand staircase to find more magical rooms on the upper floor. I don't know what it is about staircases, but these parts of period homes really do transport you to another time entirely. And they led me to rooms which contained wallpaper that I would happily display in my own house. And then, after writing a happy heavenly Christmas message to my Nan and Grandpa, their first Christmas together, I got to see some brilliant animation inspired by Henry and the Lion's Christmas Feast. And then I simply had to run whimsically through another one of the beautiful halls, this one containing stunning chandeliers. And I wondered to myself if I would ever find the legendary Chatsworth lion like Henry from the story. And it was during my musings that we stumbled across these stairs that connect the older and newer parts of the house. They were built in 1818 and display family portraits. Family photographs as you go up the stairs. That's what my grandparents did. I guess people really aren't that different. My grandparents didn't have a disco ball though. We then arrived at the library, an absolute favourite room of mine and my mum's. Its oldest book is from 1459 and some of the first ever printed books lie on these shelves. The family would also promenade the library if it was raining outside, and it contains more beautiful paintings, this one depicting day and night. And then we finally found it. Not the lion, but the long-awaited Christmas feast. The first dinner ever hosted at Chatsworth was in 1832 for 13-year-old Princess Victoria, who would later become Queen. And it takes 40 hours to clear and reset the table. Now imagine that task on Christmas Day. I also noticed that one of the roast potatoes was missing. And can you guess who the naughty little culprits are? And after suddenly getting a rumbly in my tumbly, I ventured into the sculpture gallery. And it was here that I finally spotted what I'd been searching for, the legendary Chatsworth lion. The Chatsworth lion is one of 2 large sculptures that guard the sculpture gallery at Chatsworth. But unable to go home with a beast like that, we opted for a little mouse instead, before reaching the gardens, which were illuminated beautifully. Travelling through the rooms of this house, each filled with festive decorations, twinkling lights, and surprises that ignite your imagination, I felt truly immersed in the story of this Christmas feast. There's an odd sort of connection between the old and Christmas, because Christmas is a season that bridges the old with the present, weaving timeless traditions, cherished memories, and enduring values into the fabric of our celebrations. Whether it's the glow of an heirloom ornament, the sound of a familiar carol, or the retelling of a well-loved story, old things remind us of the beauty of continuousness and the warmth of shared heritage. They ground us in the past, while inspiring us to create new moments of joy, underscoring that the spirit of Christmas is both timeless and ever renewing.